Thank you for that introduction. That really, hopefully, I will do it justice. Um, I'm glad you mentioned the Qigong because I will talk a little bit about that because that's how that's how I was led to the Dreamwork path. I really needed a way to integrate myself and get in my body. And in
Uh-huh.
Qigong for me is an integration of spirit and body. You're getting in touch with your own energy flow, starting to find more optimal ways of how it moves. And in doing those pattern movements, you kind of break loose of some habitual things that get stuck, and then the body's vitality kicks in. So that was really good for helping develop my sensitivity to energy and healing my body and my emotions. A lot of psychosomatic issues cleared up. But
Hmm.
that eventually brought me to dream work, which I actually, my first powerful dream work experience was with you in Spirit World Meetup when we hosted Benjamin Whitehurst, who's the
Uh-huh.
founder of the Alchemical Dreamers Guild I'm a part of. And that's when dreams for me shifted from becoming, yeah, dreams are something I have, and sometimes I try to figure them out, to wow, dreams have incredible depth and multi-dimensional experience in them, and bringing that into a community, into a circle where we all could hold space for the dream, that
Hmm.
really deepened how much was there. Like I didn't know how much was in my dreams. I thought it was just like this, it's like a 2 minute, YouTube clip that you kind of just record mentally and you
Hmm.
maybe you write it down. I've been writing down dreams for years before I worked with them, but it wasn't until you bring them out and you sense the energy of them that I really started to have a really profound respect for dream work.
Wow. So yeah, so teach us how it is that you follow your dream work, because I know I have my personal practice with dreams. It's one of the ways that I receive my information, my my prophetic anything that is going to happen for me in the future. I receive it through dreams, but it's hard for me to teach what I know because like as soon as somebody tells me a dream, like I know what it means. But you have a program on how to do it. So tell us about that.
Yeah, that's what I found as a teacher in trying to teach qigong is it's not for everybody. Like everyone has their own way of moving. Some people are better suited for ecstatic dance, move completely free. Some people like the structure and the discipline of these are the ways you need to move. So dream work was something I felt was more universal appeal because everyone will have their own way of working with their dreams. And what's more important is dreams themselves come through tailor made for you. That's spirit's direct channel. Like there's no limits to dreams. Like anything could be anything. So
Mhm.
our dream work philosophy is well, then the dream that you had was perfect for you. The way that it came, the person that showed up, the colors
Mhm.
that are used, the landscape, like that's not, it could have been anything else, but your
Mhm.
subconscious chose those symbols.
Yes.
And so I made this talk called Embodied Dream Work because it's less about analyzing your dreams. Like it's not about receiving instructions like, okay, like what do I need to do? Some you can use dreams that way. You can ask a question to spirit and say, like, give me the answer in my dreams. And that's
Mhm.
important as well. But in terms of day-to-day guidance, it's almost like I like to call it, like the backstage, like behind the scenes. Like before you go on stage and live your day, your dreams are kind of prepping you. It's like, okay, these are kind of
Uh,
the energies that are going to be there. You're going to
mhm.
need to interact this way. This is going to come up. Some unexpected stuff like this might come off from the side. The audience might be in this kind of mood. So it's kind of like the backstage for your day. And so embodying them is learning to sense that energy and sort of feel it in your body. And that's how you can move through life without getting surprised or getting caught off guard.
Uh-huh.
And that's what starts to deepen a lot of these deja vu experiences. It's like, oh, this is what the dream was about now. Yeah, okay. It's like, oh, I got a flat tire. Well, that's what that dream was about. Like, I don't need to stress about this. This is all part
Yeah.
of what I had on order today for spirit. Um, so some of the practices you can do for that in terms of embodying dreams is it's you kind of make it like a moving meditation. So you got your
Mm.
dream and you've got it recorded. And then you read it and you go, what would it be like to be this character? Like this morning, I dreamed about Apollo, the sun god. So I'm like, well, he might be useful to feel what it's like to be Apollo as I prepare for this talk. So, you kind of like, that's what the shamanic shapeshifting is. You kind of, alter your state of consciousness, whether you use music, whether you use like a rattle or drumming or
Mhm.
breathing, whatever you do to kind of get into that state. And then you kind of take on that form of that dream character.
Mhm.
This is really important in dreams in which you are yourself are present, because then you're getting to embody perspectives that you naturally will think of as others, like, oh, I had this dream and I interacted with my friend or my girlfriend, my husband. And it's like, well, what if you consciously choose to embody that perspective and look at yourself?
Mhm.
And so then you can stand how they would stand, or make the expression that you feel they would make. And you get a lot intuitively out of doing that exercise that you wouldn't get by saying, well, my husband represents work ethic, and so
Mhm.
therefore I need to work harder today. That's all mental. But if you
Uh-huh.
feel, oh, this is what it's like to be disciplined and I feel it in my body,
Mm.
then you're
That's
starting
great.
to,
So that you're integrating that shape, like you don't have to be yourself. You can be a different identity, almost like giving permission to yourself to be someone you're usually not. Like, is that what you're saying? Like you can give yourself permission to be someone else if you wanted to?
yeah, as you could see, freedom is a very important concept to me. So it's like
Mhm.
you have the freedom to take any perspective. You could even take the perspective of the ground. What is it like to hold up all of these dream characters walking
Oh,
on me
wow.
all day? You know? And this, I think, among other things, but at least if you're walking a path of love, this really helps develop compassion, because you can
Mhm.
start to feel what it would be like to be other people, other perspectives, and you start having more compassion for life. You can start having more compassion for trees. It's like, well, what is it like to, be abused or have to be around as humans all the time, or whatever, however we normally treat and regard trees. If you embody that perspective and you feel like, oh, trees watch us with compassion and they can't move, so we have to use our movement to kind of live in harmony with them, and they offer us lots of stability. It's like, yeah, we start to have more compassion for life.
You can put yourself in another person's shoes. That's great. That's a great way to see it. And I like what you said about being a backstage for the day. I never thought of it. The way that I think about dream is like it's a conversation between me and me. It's like we're having a conversation and you're telling me something that when I'm in my conscious, in my conscious day, like I don't notice. So when I go to sleep, you tell me about those things. But seeing as a backstage is like, okay, you are preparing me for the day. You're not telling me what I'm doing. You're telling me based on the how I'm feeling and the energy that I'm putting for the day and how much I'm suppressing or how happy I am. All those things can create a day like this if I don't shift it, if I don't change it, or if I refuse to see it in a different way. So you are preparing me for the day ahead. I like that. It's almost like our dreams are our allies.
Yeah, and that's a good point to make, because that's another tenet of the Dreamwork style that I teach, and it's like all dreams come in service of health and wholeness, even nightmares. So these dreams are
Mm.
not here to terrify us or to make us have a bad time, or they're demons or whatever. But they're really teaching, they could be the most powerful teachers, because they're challenging us to stay calm and be objective in an intensely emotional or scary, sort of on the surface, scary looking environment. So if we can learn to listen to whatever fears and whatever clarity is beyond that, then we can really start to respect all of our dreams. Because that's something I've come across in my friendships and connections, is like, oh, I had a bad dream, now I'm having a bad day. It's like, can we not judge our dreams, good, bad? Dreams are infinitely deep, and there's so many perspectives to take and so much to learn from any given dream that I haven't said good or bad dream in a long time in regards to my own. Um,
So what do you, I know in this 2020, a lot of people were experiencing those dreams, just like nightmares or repetitive patterns in their dreams with a lot of anxiety and that. So that's, what can you tell to those people that are having those intense dreams throughout this whole year?
I think this year in general, I think we can all agree is an incredible catalyst of times. And this intense material, it kind of pushes us to get more in alignment with spirit, you know, more in alignment with everything is unfolding as it should energy. And that sort of, I guess, I don't know if transcendental is the right word, but that deeper inner knowing, like if we don't go beyond the anxiety of our egos and like freaking out that, am I going to be okay? Am I safe? What's going on? If we don't penetrate beyond that to everything is okay, all is, you know, whether, no matter how it looks, is, you know, indestructible energy, and it's all unfolding as it needs to, in service of coming into oneness. So this is incredible. Like nightmares are difficult to work with because they are so intense, but I haven't had any nightmares this year. And I attribute that to my spiritual practice. It's like, well, because I center myself every day, in my truth of my soul is fine. Like things look really bad, but the soul is okay. And the more we get in touch with our souls and integrate that, because I think beyond any of those nightmares that may be showing up for people, there is the soul's truth willing to, it's saying, it's almost like I would, projecting onto those dreams, I would almost be like, hey, I'm here within this nightmare. If you can find me, you could be okay no matter what. And I want that for you. So please keep listening and don't run away from this nightmare. Stay with it, stay still, you know, and that. So that's what I would say.
Okay. And what would you have to say to the people that think that they don't remember their dreams, or it's hard for them to remember their dreams? What can you tell them?
For not remembering your dreams, that's almost like what the previous speaker was talking about. It's like if you're not listening, then it's not going to show up. Like if we don't look for signs in the waking world, we're really not going to see them. If we don't keep our eyes open for, oh, that's a synchronicity, or, that bird flew over my car just as I was thinking about this. Dreams, it's like a friend. Like if they're going to stop calling you if you stop listening. Like they're not going to keep saying hello, 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 I love you. It's like he's not listening. So as far as I can tell, consciousness works. It's like if repeated stimulus is not attended to, and this comes up with pain in the body because I'm a massage therapist as well. If you don't listen to the pain the first time, the consciousness gets used to it, and it's like, oh, I don't have pain there. It's like, well, if I touch it, yeah, now you remember it because I intensify it. It's the same with dreams. It's like, well, I don't remember my dreams. It's like, well, you're still having them, but because you haven't made a conscious choice to, I'm going to listen to them and I'm going to value what's coming to me, it's not, the consciousness is like, well, there's no point in using up bandwidth remembering dreams that aren't going to go anywhere.
What would be your recommendations? Like what are like maybe 3 or 5 recommendations on how we can capture our dream, or how we can journal a dream, or start that relationship with that dream that, you know, when we wake up, it's like, oh, I'm so busy, I can't write it down, or I can't remember, or I lost it already. Like how can we start that relationship with our own dreams?
I would say one of the best ways to start that relationship is to have a meditation practice, and that doesn't mean anything in particular. All it means is whatever practice you use that helps you stabilize awareness. For example, Qigong is a moving meditation, but after I do it, like if I've had a really busy day, I don't feel the Qi at once because my mind's too active. But once I slow down enough I feel the chi, and then the practice is to stay with that feeling of chi, and that translates directly into staying with the dream as you wake up. Because yeah, there are days when I have to go somewhere, or there's something that pulls my attention right away. So the dream, it doesn't get stabilized. So having any sort of practice that stabilizes awareness, and then once you have something like that in your life, creating space in the mornings, like it's really, for me, it's really a sacred time. Like I don't book any clients like until maybe 10:30 at the earliest. I really like to have a few
You're
hours
right. Yeah.
where I'm not pressured to go anywhere. I don't have to do anything. And so then that gives me time to, when I wake up, I can sometimes catch, even when I have that much space, thoughts pull me away and I start thinking about the day. And so the practice in meditation will always pull back the focus. Wait, what was that dream? And you have to do it gently. That's the key. You can't clench on to dreams. What was that dream? You know, it's like, no, you kind of have to relax back into dream, because dreams are at a certain state of consciousness. They're at certain brain waves. You have to relax back into them. And I've had a few cool experiences where I do that at night and I actually go back into the same dream, because I'm like, oh,
Oh,
I'm just gonna relax back into that
because
dream.
you relaxed into that, into where you were when you just woke up. Okay, that helps me a lot actually, because I journal my dreams daily. But I do, in those days when I need to wake up and do something like with my baby or with work, I just need to go. Like I notice myself becoming it, and I call it a lucidity. Like when you're dreaming, there's a different level of lucidity that you have going on. Same thing in meditation. That's why meditation is so clear when you're in it, but as soon as you're done, you lose it almost. So I write it down so that I don't lose what I receive. So I noticed that with dreams too. So it's because I'm going into that do motion. It's a completely level of lucidity than when I slow down and went down into the dream world. So if I just slow down, no matter what time in the day, if I just slow down, I can just go back into that dream that I had before.
Yeah, that's a really important part to remember, because I have friends that it's in the middle of the day, they relax and then the dreams come back up. So if like, even if you miss it in the beginning of the day, it's still, like I said, it's the unconscious backstage aspect of your day. It's still there. It can
So I
still
have to
come
ask
up.
for back pass, the backstage back pass. I mean pass. I have to ask for that. And I want the VIP, the VIP treatment. I want to go to backstage, and I want to go in the front row. I want to go everywhere.
And that's well, first I'll say the other two tips I have are, because for me writing doesn't always work. Like I'll wake up in such an altered state that if I try to write, then I lose the dream because I'm activating the left side of my brain. So voice recording, and that really helps because the quality of my voice when I say certain symbols and all that can help me re-tap into the dreams. So if you have, so like a little voice recorder on your phone or its own thing, and then setting the intent before you go to sleep. This is pretty standard. If you actually set time, even just 5 minutes, just kind of clear your day, clear your mind. I want to have a dream. It doesn't have to be any specific question. It could be, but it's just like, I want to remember my dreams. I will remember my dreams, and I will receive that guidance. I'm open to receiving the guidance of my dreams. And then organizing. This is something good to start early. Organizing your dreams by repeated symbols. Like I have 10 or 12 repeated symbols. Like I keep seeing trains, or I keep seeing ocean dreams. If you can organize that, then you can see them over time, how they transform.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's part of the awakening and alchemy part of it, is that as you work with your dreams, it's not so much a direct translation like dogs mean this. It's like, actually dogs have looked like this for me in my dreams. And then this time the dog was, a lot bigger and it was a huge guardian. And it was like, oh wow, so I've worked, my relationship with dog energy has improved over time as I've paid attention to it.
It's almost like tending to a plant. and you see the changes, like how it grows, it transforms. I really like that. I love that you can even have a relationship with your dreams and see how it changes as you deepen your relationship with the dream, which is a relationship with yourself because you're the dreamer anyway.
Mhm. Yes. And I do, because I didn't get to touch on this point, but dreams are com there's so many types. I don't want to just make it sound like dreams are just guidance preparing you for the day. There's, like you said, prophetic dreams. There's healing dreams where you can actually have interactions with advanced beings, and they do energy healing on you in your dreams.
Yep.
There's dreams where it is just you processing your day. It's like, okay, like I didn't have much time to slow down, so my dreams got taken up just processing the emotions and the thoughts of the day. Then there's dreams that are more like out of body experiences where you're actually interacting outside of your mind and you're in actual astral psychic spaces interacting with beings. So there's all different kinds. That's what I love about dream work. It's not like dreams, that's what I meant. It's like there's so much multidimensionality to dreams.
Mhm.
And there's so much, so learning discernment when you, and one of the cool things I'll name is that you can also look at dreams through the chakra colors. It's like this was a sacral chakra dream.
Wow.
And as you develop your intuition and your trust, as you're journaling it, you just kind of feel in your body like, where does this dream land? Oh, I feel it in my throat chakra. This is me working on the throat chakra realm. So that might be one way to organize dreams as well. I haven't mentioned, like just organizing them by which chakra they're landing in.
Wow. That really helps. It helps me anyway. No, it's great information there. I'm a natural at dream work and I just do it for myself. But what you're saying is helping me a lot. Like I can definitely use this information. So now tell us, like, where can we find you? What kind of programs do you have available if we want to contact you?
I have most things on my website on healsion.com, and the dream group that I run is just once a month on the full moons, and it's over Zoom right now. And you can find that on meetup.com/spirit-world-meetup. And that the dream group is a really important part. Even if you don't join that one, find a dream group. Even if you can't find a dream group, find a friend. Because the most important thing is this is your unconscious, or it's
Mhm.
unconscious material. Having someone else look at that, they're going to see things you would never even see that become obvious. It's always like, ah, I didn't see that. How did I not make that connection? Well, it's your
Yeah.
unconscious. So having a friend like reflect and see things. So yeah, find a dream group. I do one once a month. The next one is this Sunday because I do it on the full moons, uh, or close to the full moons. That's online. And then, yeah, my website just has everything else for upcoming classes I teach, uh, or the one-on-one healing sessions or mentoring sessions I do.
Cool. That sounds awesome. Thank you so much.